Hi everybody and welcome back to the program. It's Thursday the 8th of February. I'm back in Chip Fair Lele here in Pattaya, Thailand, and looks like I've got a bit of increasing cloud today with a top of 33 degrees. Hopefully it's good where you are as well. Notice there's been some awful flooding in the west part of the United States, like around California, San Diego. Looked horrific. Good luck to those people who are obviously trying to clean up. Now, over the years, during these discussions of PM 2.5, there was some very funny things that have happened, sort of publicity stunts from government officials. One of them was sending up drones with like a litre of water and spraying it in the air, like that was going to fix things. And another one was the government saying, we're going to ask Chinese temples to stop burning joss sticks. I thought, oh my God, they're stooping to anything. Well, they've wound up that particular story again. Let's just go to this one. Worshippers urged to reduce air pollution during Chinese New Year. And taking proactive steps to address environmental concerns, the Banglamung district officials are aiming to raise awareness about the detrimental effects of burning paper. And the age-old custom of burning silver and gold paper during Chinese New Year is deeply ingrained, symbolising prosperity. However, the excessive burning of paper has sparked environmental worries due to the release of pollutants in the air, potentially endangering community health. There's no doubt that when you burn anything, you're going to be putting smoke up in the air, including people smoking cigarettes or anything else. But the amount of smoke caused by these Chinese New Year celebrations would be obliterated by just like one fire up in northeast Thailand. Let's go on. The campaign team engaged with traders, vendors and residents at the market, distributing informative pamphlets and conducting on-site activities. These materials included emergency contact numbers and stressed the importance of adopting eco-friendly practices during the festivities. There's nothing wrong with all this sort of pro-environmental campaign, but let's be quite clear, it's not really going to do anything to fix Thailand's PM 2.5 situation. And officials highlighted key measures to minimise environmental impact, including the use of shorter incense sticks, reducing the quantity of burned paper, wearing masks and promptly extinguishing or collecting incense sticks. It was not only Pattaya Mail that felt compelled to report this. Nation Thailand also got wrapped up in it. Welcome, Year of the Dragon safely, Thailand's Chinese community told. And here we go, the spokesman added that the government was also worried about PM 2.5 ultrafine air pollutants and advised people to use electric joss sticks instead of conventional ones. Pretty much targeting the thin end of the wedge there. Let's go to the top and see what's happening. ThaiPBSWorld.com saying that Joint Thai-Cambodian Working Group to fight cross-border pollution. And Thailand and Cambodia yesterday recognised the importance of reducing cross-border airborne pollution by agreeing to establish a joint working group, including the setting up of a hotline for the sharing of information and alerts on the location of fires. Well, don't worry, as I've said before, I can send you the link to the NASA fire maps and you've got all the information you need there. They agreed to cooperate on emergency responses, capacity building and the sharing of best practices in areas such as agricultural burning management as part of efforts to reduce agricultural waste burning during the dry season. All this is good. It's got to start with discussions before we start seeing something concrete happening, but they also got a few words in about tourism between the countries. Regarding tourism, the leaders discussed joining forces to boost the 6 countries, 1 destination campaign, enabling tourists to travel across borders to visit Thailand, Cambodia and other neighbouring nations in one trip. Now, I suppose the devil's in the detail regarding this 6-country visa. I mean, it might be a really good idea in principle, but if you're doing border runs, I don't suppose it's going to be much use. You're going to get to the border and they say, well, you've already got a visa to enter this country. You don't need another stamp, which is not what they would want. Anyway, we were talking about the PM 2.5 pollution and the Cambodian and Thai Prime Minister starting discussions about some of the cross-boundary pollution. Let's look at what's happening in Thailand today. And there we go. This is sort of the country, those three circles. The top one, Chiang Mai, northern Thailand. The one on the right there is what we call Isan in northeastern Thailand. And then the lower circle is Bangkok and central Thailand. All the, I suppose, what we could call hotspots today. And any respite that the north of Thailand's had over the past couple of months looks like it's certainly changing. And they do, as we can see, they have very bad air pollution in northern Thailand, but it appears to be even worse out there in the northeast of Thailand. Yeah, we just briefly spoke about tourism. A lot of people saying, well, what's happened with the 90-day visa waivers? We heard nothing over the last couple of days. Well, the Thai cabinet did meet on Tuesday. We reported last week, according to some various media publications, that the cabinet was going to be discussing the visa waivers or the extension of those visa waivers for some countries. Well, I've heard nothing. I did a quick search this morning. Seems to be no news. So it doesn't look like, well, even if it was brought up, that no decisions were made. So we'll keep an eye on it. And if anything happens, you'll be the first to know. Let's go to a few other stories today. And we go to the Calcite English Facebook page reporting the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Thailand voted 5-2 to keep the policy interest rate at 2.5% in their meeting on February the 7th. And the result of constant interest rates was seen as a dispute between the government and the Bank of Thailand governor. And certainly both sides have had their say about interest rates and who should be deciding the interest rates. Looks like there's been some sort of compromise and the interest rate will stay the same. Moving on to this story from nationthailand.com. Reduce, rehabilitate addicts. Thailand's new mantra against drug trafficking. Well, in the past it's been pretty much throw people in jail, but it looks like Thailand might be being dragged kicking and screaming into the 21st century with its attitude towards drugs. And the government shifted its focus on arresting drug pushers and rehabilitating drug addicts in a bid to effectively deal with Thailand's drug problem. And quoting the Prime Minister, Srettha Thavisin, who was determined to suppress drug trafficking and has instructed all government agencies to work together to protect Thai youth from the scourge of drugs. And there are 4 aims from the government apparently this year. Reduce violence from people with mental problems caused by drug abuse, reduce the number of drug addicts, suppress the pushing of drugs in communities and villages, and reduce factors contributing to drug abuse and trafficking. And the Narcotics Control Board is also joining forces with 27 other government agencies, including the Interior and Defence Ministries, to deal with drug trafficking. So mostly, principally talking here about the problems related to methamphetamines, their easy availability, their cost, both yaba and ice, the crystal methamphetamine. Of course, there's other drugs there, and the government seems to be approaching them in slightly different ways, including the 2 very popular ones called alcohol and tobacco. Let's go on to our next story. And the BangkokPost.com reporting fake military certificates in crosshairs. I've actually got a personal story about this I'll tell you about in a moment. The Defence Ministry said on Tuesday it would take legal measures against any military members, past and present, who are found to be involved in selling Sawdor 43 certificates. Now, these are certificates that would give exemption to young males from being drafted into the army. And normally, the Sawdor 43 is issued by a conscription committee to those exempted from military service via an annual lot drawing procedure. So yeah, young Thai men of a certain age have to line up at this conscription event, and they have to draw red balls and black balls, and they'll either be drafted for 2 years to do military training, or they can be exempted with these certificates. Now, let's look at the details. A Grade A fake document, complete with 5 official signatures, is sold for up to 50,000 baht per copy. Exactly how many certificates do you think these fake certificates are issued each year? Of course, there's genuine certificates, but let's check the number of the fake ones. You got a number in your head? Let's check. I was surprised. He said about 60,000 fake copies are sold yearly, amounting to 3 billion baht in fraud, and that 3 million baht going into the pockets of senior officials. And he said legal and disciplinary punishment would be given to those found guilty of such corruption, no matter when it occurred. And the Defence Minister said retired service members involved in the sale of the fake certificates would have their pensions suspended. 60,000 fake certificates last year. They're going to have their work cut out. Now, speaking about dinosaurs, this story from BangkokPost.com, 110 million-year-old dinosaur fossil found. And it happened up in Khon Kaen, and a new set of dinosaur fossils, estimated to be up to 110 million years old, has been found in the Nampong district of the northeastern province. And they're believed to belong to the sauropod and the spinosaurid species. And the initial survey started on January the 31st after a villager posted about one of the fossils on his Facebook account. He also notified the authorities, and the fossils consist of the spine of a sauropod, a long-necked herbivore that lived during the late Triassic to late Cretaceous era. I think that's anything before Elvis, and the teeth of a spinosaurid, a fish-eating dinosaur species that lived during the Cretaceous era. Alright, heading up to Pattaya now, and the PattayaNews.com, and Pattaya Heat, action thriller debuts in movie theatres, shot in Pattaya. And the big budget, highly anticipated Thai action thriller, Pattaya Heat, All Men Are Brothers, is set to ignite the silver screen as it makes its debut on Thursday, February the 8th, debuting today. And the star-studded lineup of top Thai actors gathered yesterday at the gala premiere event at Siam Paragon. And Pattaya Heat is a gripping action thriller that delves into the so-called dark underbelly of the world-famous resort city. The movie follows a deadly game of cat and mouse between the main character Tot and a menacing mafia gang. I'm not sure if it's based on a true story or any real people, but I'm sure people living up in Pattaya will be going to see the movie just so they can see some locations on the silver screen that they go, oh, I've been there. So with that, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you're a bit more up to date with things happening around Thailand. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. That really helps. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.